Hey, Ben. Hey, everybody. Good evening. I was a little lonely. All right. Thank you, Sir Paul. Um, hey, you know how I like to start off. Thank you guys for your support, man. I'm getting up there a little bit, I'm getting up there. I got my coffee. Go get a water, a coffee, a martini, vodka, whatever you want to get. Just come keep me company, all right? This coffee's hot as heck. No slurping. So I want to do a night show, and I didn't really want to put any type of gangster names in the video and all that kind of stuff. The thumbnail, Mike Francis, my godfather, Sammy the Bull, and it's Sammy the Bull. Well, I was just say Sammy the Bull was totally discrediting John A. Light. And then somewhere along the line, they just change. I mean, you just talk about, are they just running out of things to say, or are they just changing the narrative, or it's just a crapshoot rodeo? But, I mean, that Lee Cole channel, they're all questioning about everything. And of course, I'm guilty. I've done videos about, oh, he's lying, or he's telling the truth. But geez, boy, they beat it. They get every last drop out of it. And forgive me if I've done, but geez, it gets, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to build up. I know the people want to hear all that stuff. They just hear it to no end. That they just keep listening, keep watching till the end of time. But as far as John A. Light and everything, as far as him saying he was the enforcer and he did all these hits, Sammy the Bull Gravano was like, yeah, well, then he was like, no, he didn't do anything, or it's just like, what is what? He wasn't made into their family. He wasn't a made man, John A. Light. He wasn't made into he's Albanian. But he gets on there and he just, me personally, I don't believe anything that John A. Light has to say. Me personally, because it's just common sense. It's common sense. And he's selling. He even, for some network, that was making a move or something, like he had them bamboozled. These guys are so good, but the networks don't care. They're just like, well, you're a good storyteller, put it up there. So let's all lie and let's just tell stories and just let's let everybody lie and then, point the finger at each other and let the soap opera continue. That's all. That's what it comes down to. It's a show of cast of characters and people, and the viewers watch it. So that's what it's all about. I'm up to 170 subscribers. Thank you. I tell stories. I do the same stuff, but geez, I like to have a couple scruples about it. I mean, just a few scruples. Geez, but that's it gets crazy after a while. It gets crazy. All I put in here was the night show. I didn't even put Sammy the Bull Gravano because the algorithm will show all that. I just want to do a little innocent show. Whoever watches, watches. I mean, how much can you whore yourself out to? I mean, I've whored myself out with the thumbnails, and then I felt guilty about it. But they just do. So if I'm going to join this social media platform, you got to play like they play. No holds barred. There's just no holds barred. That's all. It's just go right ahead. you could tell the people 1 and 1 is 4, and they're going to still view. So that's all. I appreciate my subscribers that come in here, and with my limited resources and everything, I appreciate that. And I try to give a good word. You try to be entertaining. Yeah, that's the name of the game. Be entertaining. Put real crafty thumbnails in there so you can draw potential subscribers and viewers in. And yeah, play that game. But I do also like to try to add a little humanistic touch. Because at the end of the day, when you turn off all that stuff and all that rigmarole, we're just regular people out in the world trying to live. And I always throw that spirituality into my channel because I was given a second chance at life. And I want to try to raise 1 or 3 or 100 or 1,000. I want to raise some people up. That's all. And I'm confident, and I think that I can do a good job, and I am doing a good job. Because that's all. I mean, we're always looking, oh, what about this? What about, yeah, until you're blue in the face. But then we have our own mind and spirit and soul, Kevin, we got Cleveland, Ohio in here. First time, I reckon. What am I getting old? I reckon. I'm saying I'm reckon. Thank you, Kevin. I didn't do a show today. I just got done watching the Bills game. The Bills won. Boom, boom, boom. The Yankees are winning right now. They were winning 3-1. But thank you, Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio in the house. Hey. Yeah. I appreciate that, Kev. I appreciate you guys coming in. I'm not the regular big flashy introduction and all that stuff. You guys know. I told a lot of gangster stories. I ran around for a minute. I was a nobody. Yes. Danny Trios, I was a nobody in that life. You were somebody that nobody ever heard of, and you went and did prison time. So I'd rather be a nobody under the public, under the radar, that was able to spend time with their family while you hotshot, quote unquote, gangsters. Your family was visiting you in the penitentiary. So that you're a big man for that. You weren't too smart to outfox that. The FBI was smarter than you, bro. Now, where was I? Letting them clowns get me off track. Oh, I was thinking Kevin. I'm sorry about that, Kevin. They're all telling all these stories. Yeah, maybe they had a role or whatever and everything else. My godfather was the real toughest guy running around them streets. My godfather was. And all those big mouths over there on their channels and everything. Jimmy Calandra. Kevin, everybody has all these opinions. Everybody's got scattered information. Well, I saw this and I heard this and I read this. Well, I only hung around a certain people, a certain group of people. So I can guess at some things, but at the end of the day, I wasn't side by side with these people. I don't know what they did 24/7. It's secondhand information. A lot of it's true. A lot of it's false. And at the end of the day, it's entertainment. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. But they're knocking somebody was knocking Calandra the other day, And then everybody cooperated with the FBI. It's just convoluted at the end of the day. But that's entertainment, and everybody likes the coffee talk of the gangsters. And this guy did that. Yeah, that's that. But I think in 10 years or in 5 years, it's going to lose its steam. Yeah, Angel Gotti's got a channel. I'm not going. I made a valid comment about something. I was watching the live stream, and I got kicked off the live stream by her or the moderator. It was like, I didn't say nothing. They keep saying that she was a stepdaughter, and it was just like I made an innocent comment, and her channel, Angel Gotti's channel, is staged the same way. You know how would you come to that assumption? A cup of JoJo. Well, they have a four-way split screen, and there's people on there talking, and they're bebopping back and forth together, and someone says they threaten to use those docs. You can call what they doc somebody, and it's public information where you can see the cars, their license plates, their personal information, their address. And somebody said, "Yeah, I'm gonna dox you, Angel Gotti, and put it all on my channel." She's a Gotti, and number one, her reply would have been, "You no good bleep bleep bleep. If you ever come near my house, bleep bleep bleep," and everything else. And she gave this little mild mannered reply. It's a soap opera. It's a complete soap opera. Tune in tomorrow to see how Angel Gotti replies to the threats made to her. There's no crazy Gottis running around that would say, "Who threatened you, ma?" Come on. Please. And that I Danny Trios is a clown. Lee Cole to me is cool. Yeah. Kevin says, just to get views and subs, I understand a little bit, but come on and be real. That goes farther. That goes farther in life and on what they label you as. At least I'm honest. At least I try to be honest about if I don't know something or whatever. And these people, I mean, they want to just keep that narrative going. All the gangster YouTube conflict. Sammy Elite hates John A. Light. Then he doesn't hate him, and it's just. And then Calandro and the other guy, Generillo or what. These gangsters figured out a new hustle. It's called YouTube channels, and they figured let's all aboard, let's jump on, and let's just freaking. And then when we're done MFing each other after the show, we'll go have a coffee after the show. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. So, I was trying to support Angel Gotti more or less. And, she got threatened like that. And it just went, it was like, nah, go do your fairy tale stuff. It's all fair. MRE. Cotton. Yeah, more. Convict Inc. FBS. I always hear FBS, but Convict Inc.'s got good stuff. MRE. They're serious people. They're like an encyclopedia with information. I like the kind of stuff they do. They're on Angel Gotti's and I think it was that FBS that threatened us. Maybe you know more than me, Kevin. But maybe it was that FBS that said he was going to dox, because I just found out what that, dox and put the public information out on a woman. Forget about gangster and all that, on a woman, and that's in the public eye, and just put her public information out there. And she didn't MF or anything. She didn't say, "You no good rotten rodent." Why would you say that? No. Let them get their subs and views. I don't need any of them. I don't need to piggyback any of them. I have my own niche. I'm fine with that. I got 170 subscribers with a hammer and chisel, with bad technology, bad lighting, and everything else. I'm happy with it. I like my people that come in here. And I happen to be getting more subs. Yeah, 170 subs. Oh, that's nothing. But it's something when you don't have. I'm not a public name. I'm not a public name. I'm just a hammer and chisel. Put one on there if you're knowledgeable. If you know what, at the end of the day, Kevin, Mr. Cleveland, Ohio, thank you for coming in. When Dizzy Drum, England, this is turning into an international channel, my great people. Dizzy Drum, I had someone else from the UK. I love those UK supporters and viewers. I like that. Yeah. Love back to you. Love going to Kevin to Cleveland, Ohio. Bless you all. That's real stuff. It must be it's like in the morning over there. It must be the morning or in England. But I appreciate it. You know, if you people been with me for a while, you know, I ran around years ago. I ran around. I wasn't nobody. I was never a made man. I was around people. My godfather in Brooklyn did things and everything. And then I ran errands, but I never wanted to be a made man. I don't claim to be a tough guy. No, I don't know. No, those tough guys just died in prison or got whacked. No. But I appreciate your support. And, you know, I'm rising up. Maybe someday I'll get a camera and I could go do things off of this couch. And I want to try to do some interviews and up my game a little. I want to up my game a little. I owe it to the people, my subscribers and viewers. And I want to, you know, I'm versatile. I could offer, I believe I can offer more. I can diversify a little bit and get rocking and rolling. So, but we're getting there. We're getting there little by little. So I appreciate what I got now. I appreciate what I got now. And, you know, I read the news the other day on my phone. I was scrolling on my phone and, yeah, Dizzy Drum found your channel the other day. It's early hours in the morning over here. Oh, it's early hours. So how did because I don't know, you know, these algorithms and the search, you know, of course, the thumbnail, Sammy the Bull Gravano, Mike Francis, John Gotti. Of course, those thumbnails attract it, but I must be last in line as far as a little old cup of JoJo. I mean, in the options, like if you just scroll, I'm like the last one. I'm the last option. Because of course all the big channels would have that. But I was trying to get 100 subscribers by Christmas. I was trying to get 100 subscribers by Christmas. And I got 170. Thank you to these great people. And they put up with me. And I try to do the best I can. And I do try to lift people up spiritually, not Bible thumping, but lift you up spiritually, psychologically, so we can have a better day. Yeah, we all want to be entertained. We want to hear blood and guts. Yeah, I was there. He blew his brains out. Then they, you know, whatever. But no, that's entertaining. But then we still go on with our lives. And I'm not a one-trick pony. Maybe I'm not the end-all knowledge of psychology and human behavior. I might be well studied and I might have a lot of experiences, and maybe I hope I could be effective in those topics. And I hope I could be an effective communicator. Well, just that sentence alone. I hope I can be an effective communicator. That sounds like an effective communicator. You wonder why I'm nuts? Oh, God bless you, good people from England, from Cleveland. You come in here, you cheer me up. I'm almost 60 years old, you know. So I was lonely. I wanted to talk to some people. You know, you get your children grow up, and then, you know, I have a lot of fun. I have friends, but, you know, and I do also state in my videos that people are suffering. Maybe they broke up with their spouse, or maybe they're having, you know, depression. Maybe they're hooked on some kind of drug or dope or alcohol, or maybe something's messing them up. That's what I try to do, and that's my little niche. That's my little niche that I hope I could be a good enough communicator to help people that are struggling, because mental health, people don't like, some men in general, or people, they'll try to mask their emotions, and they could really be struggling inside, because we want to be macho. I'm macho man, so you try to cover up, but it builds up, so if you need help and somebody's effectively can help you, reach on up. I am scrolling through YouTube. I was scrolling through YouTube, and the video you done about the Michael Franzese caught my eye, so I subscribed. See, Michael Franzese, I whored myself out with the thumbnail. I admitted that I whore myself out with the thumbnails. What am I going to do? At least I can get you to look at me, and then if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. Some say tomato, some say tomato, some like vanilla ice cream, some like chocolate, some like both. So thank you, Dizzy Dunn. Leo Swan, you know what? Leon, we got some new people. We got some new friends in here. We got Dizzy Drum, and Kevin. We got Cleveland in the house. We got England in the house. It's a beautiful time. That you see, I maybe I get wishy-washy sometimes. Oh, you ran around with these gangsters and all that. You know what? My mother, God rest her soul, taught us to be compassionate and demonstrate that. Help if you can. People struggle. She raised us 5 kids by herself. So I'm for the underdog. Leon, you see how fast that went up? I was trying to get 100. It's going up, man. So I'll try to diversify. And get things up. And I appreciate every one of them. And I just don't want to be you're entertaining, but you know what? I want to try to help a little. As maybe a lot of you might know, I overdosed on fentanyl 10 years ago, and I was dead, and I was given extra time. I went to the other side. I came back. I wrote my book that I can't even give away. I wrote my book, They Dead Missed, and I try to give it away. I don't have no money, but I still try to give it away, because there's a lot of different, it's a memoir about my life, but there's, at the end of the chapters, I try to raise people up, because I was down and out many times in my life, and I got brung back. So this is all borrowed time. From 5 years old, I was on borrowed time. So this is the extra time, Hey, it's coffee talk. Dizzy Drum. Well, thank you. So, I put those in the thumbnail, Dizzy, but, it's coffee talk. Can you believe they were minus? They were minus a favorite in Kansas City. I thought that game was just going to end in heartbreak, just like things always happen with the Buffalo team. It's just going to end in heartbreak. But and the Jets look good. Pittsburgh beat Tom Brady, the Tampa. I don't know what's going on in the Dallas game, but Dallas looks like they got a tough defense. So I used to take the action years ago. They gave Kansas City 3. It was 2.5 earlier in the week. And I used to tweak the lines, but the guy would get mad once, and I'd say, well, I'm going to just put my own input on some of the lines. And there wasn't all this information out there like there is today. Back in those days, it was a hammer and chisel operation, and you didn't have access to information like you do today, even as a handicapper, even as a gambler. But when you're taking the action, you try to get, I try to do my research, but there's only so much information you can gather out there. But I would just I would change the lines, and then another bookmaker would say, "You got a bad line. They're going to middle us." Or you got a bad. Well, it's my line. If you don't like it, I'm going to be on the right side of it. So if somebody gets middled, it's going to be you, bro. That's old school bookie talk. That's old blooms. Don't do me. Didn't do me. Doesn't. That money's gone. if you excuse me, if you looked at my car, you'd say, well, that money's gone. That's all right. God blesses me with everything I need. And like, I don't want to turn people off like that, you know? Yeah, Cleveland, the NFL, you got all these teams that could beat these teams on any given Sunday. And that's all. I mean, the NFL has enough talent, and of course, the quarterback is a key position. But then you got the elite teams, though, that usually rock and roll and smash the teams. And two elite teams went at it today: Buffalo Bills and Kansas City, and they went at it, blow for blow, and the Bills came out on top. That game today looked like a Super Bowl game. That Bills Chiefs game today looked like it could. I mean, of course they're in the same conference, but but that looked like a Super Bowl. The intensity and the just everything about it. That was cool. Well, I'm glad I met Kevin and I met Dizzy. I'm glad I met you guys. I appreciate you coming in here. And I'm getting the thing. Dizzy says, when I was growing up, the only information you could get is if you found it in the yellow pages. Thank you, Dizzy. Yeah. The commercial said, let your fingers do the walking. It was like, yeah, let your fingers do it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, what's the scores? I know the game just started, but boy, they look dangerous. Philly looks dangerous, and Dallas's defense looks tough. I can look at it right here. Sports update. All right, where's my producer? Oh, 0-0. Thanks, bro. Thanks. Yeah, that just started. The Yankees were winning 3-1. I don't know, maybe you guys hate the Yankees, but the Spankies, the New York Spankies. Oh, well. Enough of that. But you guys watch those other organized crime channels? All 3-2 now. They better put it together, or get the golf clubs out. Get the golf clubs out. And I'm not going to cry a river. I want them to win, but I'm not going to cry a river while they got $300 million in the bank. But we could still be fans just the same. I was crazier when I was younger, but it was like, yeah, what? I want them to win, but geez. You see on all these other channels now, Mike Francis, he's got a big channel, and years ago, I was running around, and I know certain things, but I don't want to, I was bashing him, Mike Francis, in the thumbnails, and say, well, you know what? I think he's not telling the truth because he wasn't where he said he was, because I saw him eye to eye. But see, everybody's getting up in age now, my dear friends, and there's nobody else. Everybody's died off, or they went to prison, or there's nobody else around. So these old timers, they could just say anything they want, and of course, but And I was kind of getting pissed off about all that. And I was feeling like one day I still liked him. And then the other day I wanted to just say, F you, you're a lying crap, sack of crap, but it was like, for what? I just make myself look silly. There's enough other channels out there that do all that shit. Stay clean, man. Stay clean, Kev. Be the king. Like I say at the end of my videos, be the kings and queens of your world. They got fentanyl out there. I caught the first wave of that fentanyl crap, and I knew it wasn't actual heroin. I know the properties of heroin, and I knew that. And it was just like, this is some strange shit. And my closest friend that day passed away, and a lot of other people I know passed away. But, I'm too old for that crap. I'm just too old for that crap. That's all. I'm too old for it. Yeah, I liked the feeling of an opiate high. Yeah, I liked the feeling of an opiate high. Hell yeah, I liked it. But then you're addicted. Then you're married to it. And then what are you going to do? How much money can you freaking hustle up to keep your addiction going? No, crazy. I overdosed. I was dead for over an hour and a half. And I got brought back. I defeated all the medical experts. I was on life support for a long time. And it was a hard road back. It was tough. It was tough. So I got spared by the angels. I'm not going to be a preacher, but you know what? Whatever I talk about, being around gangsters or knowing these people, whatever, that's one thing. But another thing is, this is going to be an uplifting channel in some way. This channel is not going to be defined by, go see a cup of JoJo if you want to hear about Sammy the Bull or Mike Francis or the Iceman or my Godfather and what they did and what I was around in a limited capacity. Yeah, people do like that. But I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I want to do current events. I want to do sports commentary. I want to do news commentary or just something we could throw around. I have an open forum of subscribers or of commentators here, and I'll let my commentators dictate the show. That's all. That's all. I'll take their lead. That's all. It's good enough for me. Thanks, Dizzy. Mike, years ago, that family had gambling brung in a lot of money. And I went to school, business, account. I went to college twice as a teenager and as a 40-year-old, 45-year-old. And when I went to work as a salesperson in an office, my boss was a bookmaker, and they did business in Niagara Falls and New York City, and I was running money back and forth. I was running errands, and Mike Francis, Mike Francis stayed out of the picture. Mike Francis was never in the streets. He's the best chess player ever known to mankind. But they had packages coming back and forth and a couple of, whatever. And I had some encounters and everything. And he was cool about it. And I got threatened by a couple of made men because I wasn't a made man. And I got pissed off a couple of times when somebody would tell me something, and then I'd go, take your gun off. Let's go put some gym shorts on and go fight. He probably would have kicked my ass anyways, but I was young and stupid. And I was like, let's go fist fight. And this guy was an animal that probably would have freaking ripped me apart, but I was stupid. And I got in some trouble there. And when I went to New York, I was born in Brooklyn, and my godfather's from Brooklyn. My godfather was a freelancer, but he was mostly with the Colombo family. And so he knew about Mike and everything else. And then it happened to be, this guy, that's my godchild that's doing this. And Mike Francis was cool about everything, and he's just worried about the money. Mike Francis just worried about the rackets. And I don't want to bash his channel. I don't want, he's entertaining. He's well-spoken. And I don't want to say, like I did, I hoard myself out and say, well, he's lying. Well, he's this. Well, you know what? Who knows what is what out there? Who the hell knows what is what? You can't rub elbows with these guys 24/7. Even back then, you're not with these people all the time. But somebody says, well, I was in jail during this period of time, and I was in the hole. And it was like, well, I thought I saw you. I thought I saw you in Brooklyn. Well, do you got a twin brother, or do you have a clone? But maybe my mind is shot, and I just thought it was. But I did have interactions and everything, and and if somebody said, well, these guys dealt with 1 million people, they had so many hustles going on. Like he was appearing at the casino somewhere, and it's like, what am I going to go say? Oh, Mike, do you remember me? Like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm not like some little giddy schoolgirl saying, oh, look, it's Mike Francis. God bless him. God bless him. You can nitpick about the stuff he says and everything, but I'll tell you what, he can play chess. He could play chess and money. Well, he made $500 million. Yeah. Yeah, there's people still taking the action, because there's big gamblers, and if you make big bets, and then you don't want to sign your personal information. If you go to the casino and you bet, and then you make a score for 10,000, and then what happens after that? Every transaction over $5,000, the FBI gets a freaking receipt of it. And then you got the FBI, big brother, looking over your back, knowing that you're doing these transactions. So there is still people that don't want to go into a casino, or they don't want to go on FanDuel or Sports Kings and do that, because if you make a big score, the government's going to know. And some people ain't down with that. Why should the government know about your big score? And why should the government, you'll have to pay taxes on that down the line and report it as income. So for number one, they shouldn't know your business for all these transactions. And number two, they're going to say, oh, listen, Billy, you made $30,000 last year. You're going to have to pay 27% tax on that. Now the IRS is going like this. No. That's why I know a guy that still takes big action, but I don't bet. But I just know a guy that takes. He'll take anything you want. He's got corporate executives. He's got wealthy people that they bet 5,000, 10,000 a game, and they don't have to go under. They don't have to walk in a casino where there's 100 cameras, and there's no anonymity. So. There's still people taking big action, or any kind of action. A lot of times you'd say, let's settle. Years ago, you'd say, well, whichever comes first, if you win 5,000 or lose 5,000, whatever comes first. Otherwise, we ain't got to keep going back and forth and, making, yeah. I played with the line all the time and the one guy that was running the show, he was a little pissed off about things here and there, and but then all of a sudden he started realizing that we were benefiting from it. We were benefiting from the moves I made. But other bookmakers were calling saying, "Oh, you got a bad line. You got a bad line, Joe." Well, what are you trying to do? Well, attack it. If I got a bad line, attack it. Attack it. Or if you got a team -9 and I got a team -6, I hope I'm on the better end of it, because they're gonna bet the -9. They're gonna bet that +6, and if it lands 7-8, it's middled. And they tried it, and I very rarely got middled. It was always the other guy on the wrong end of it. And they're crying. I don't give a shit about them. I don't care about them. I used to tweak the lines. Oh, yeah. And some of them other guys were like, I was nobody. I knew people here and there, but there's like gangster wannabes, and, and the one guy had a nickname, Frank Nitty, and he was a clown. He tried to walk around in a long trench coat, I was like, I could give two shits about this guy. He's on the wrong end of it. He's on the wrong end of the action. And that's all. It was fun. It was fun. And I liked when I had more flexibility when I was doing that, because we're just trying to make the money. A bookie, if say Buffalo is playing New England, a bookie wants $5,000 worth of money on Buffalo, and a bookie wants $5,000 worth of action on New England. So it evens out. So, well, how do you make money, Jojo? Well, there's a VIG. It's called the Vigorous. So for every $100 somebody bets, they have to, if they lose, they pay $110. So that's the penalty. That's the VIG. They call it the Vigorous, for those viewers that don't understand that. So as a bookie, if you're getting heavy on a team and you don't want to take a shot, you try to tweak the line accordingly so you can entice more action. So it balance out. It'll balance out. You try to get 10,000 here, 10,000 here, balance it out, and then you squeeze for the ref. And you light the cigar and says, well, you made $1,000 no matter what. That's all. You root for the ref. You squeeze for the ref. That's how we used to joke. Yeah. And they're putting people in jail back then and everything else. And now the government, it's all legal. It's all legal. Yeah. It was so taboo. Yeah. 10% VIG. $10 on every $100. Well, they're trying to make it 105 in some joints or whatever. I don't know. It's a freaking, they're trying to. But 10% of 1,000 is 100. 10% of 10,000. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works, Dizzy. So, yeah, you try to get it to, so if the Bills are -7 and they're getting all this action and say they're playing New England, so if it's 12:30 and the game hasn't started, so I got to raise that line to if my next better. So I might potentially have a next better calling and say, I want the Bills. Well, they're -8. If they say, what about the Bills game? I say they're -8 now. So they might say, well, I'll take New England. So I got that balance. Because this is all Bills country, and all your 90% of the people are betting the Buffalo Bills. And that's why I used to tweak the lines. Everybody told me I had a bad line. Well, if the Vegas line on the Bills is -7, and I know 90% of my customers are going to bet the Bills, I'm going to open up at -9. Take it or leave it. Go find another guy. Go find somebody else. So I know bars that got slot machines still over here. Well, growing up, my grandfather, my mother's father, God rest them all. He was a hardworking man at a company, at a factory type of company, coal mill or whatever like that. And he used to take 25-cent daily doubles and $1, bets, horse race bets, small time, maybe $25 a week or $30 a week. And then the guy, a higher up guy, my great uncle Russ Latempio, God bless him, he was into bigger things. But they had my poor grandfather on the street getting frisked like Al Capone for 25-cent daily doubles, these crowbar crumb detectives. Like, really? And now it's legal and it's no problem. Times are truly changing, my dear friends. Now the government wants a piece of the action. That's true, Dizzy. That's true. Now the government. It's okay now. Marijuana's legal now too. Everything's legal now. All the hustles and rackets, the government's running all the hustles and rackets. I sold a little reefer once in a while years ago. And I was always, I was careful and slick and everything, but it's just like, geez, I mean, it was a lot of stress, but I was fine. And now there's marijuana dispensaries all over the place. So I'm 59 years old. So I've seen the evolution as the government finally said, oh, let's have a lotto. Let's have the state lotto. And let's have casinos, and let's have legalized sports betting and everything else. Now the government is organized crime. It was organized crime when the gangsters were doing it. So now the government's doing it. That's still organized, but it's not crime. It's not crime anymore. It was a crime. It was a crime when the people were doing it, but it's not a crime when the government does it. It's madness. Money. But yeah, that's it's a sign of the times changing everything. But me personally, I was making some extra money with some innocent marijuana. And it got, you're bobbing and weaving and very careful. And I was smart. And it's just like, now everything's legal. I used to like marijuana. Yeah. Years ago, when they just had this grade of marijuana called Mexican, and that was like the low level. Then Colombian Gold came out. Colombia Gold came out, and that was like the next. And then the ganj came out, and it was like these higher grades came out. And I knew a mad scientist years ago, a botanist, a chemist, and he got seeds from Sweden. And it was called this Amanda seed, where this first hydroponic type of mad scientist came out, and it wasn't around America at that time. And I used to sell little buds of it years ago for $20. And my customers used to call it, you got the mad scientist? You got any of that mad scientist? Yeah, I got it right here. I hope you don't have anything important to do today, Billy and Sally, because when you take 2 hits of this, I hope you don't have a responsible job, or just, if you're going to veg on the couch all day, then smoke it. But if you got it. And my buddy told me it was on the cover of, they had a magazine back then called High Times. And he sent some pictures in, and they had it all this crystallized bud and said a new wave is coming. A new scientific wave is coming. He told me our buds were on high times. I was like, what? And he's old like me, but a few months back, I was like, hey, what's that issue? What's that issue? Did you make that up or what? I want to see that issue. He goes, I sent it in and they put it in the cover. It was all this crystallized bud. It was from a seed from Sweden, and they called this strain of marijuana, they called it the Amanda. I don't know where they got the name from, but it was called Amanda. And we called it the Mad Scientist. Yeah. Years ago, the high times. Oh, man. He's like, the bud's on there. The bud's. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. I says, well, I know it was out, it looked like. I says, but aren't there any more scientists out there? He's like, no, it's technology and botany and hydroponics was still in the infancy, but there were sharp scientists out there that could rock and roll and say how they could determine how much THC was in those buds. And then they were very good at it. They were very good at it. I used to smoke years ago and everything all the time, but now that I've been old, it's been like 15 years or whatever, 15, 20 years since all that. Since all that. Then I was on painkillers and stuff. I had some injuries, and then I started being hooked on real drugs, hardcore opiates. And then that was like, that was a whole nother story. Doing drugs that if you don't do your drug, you're gonna Jones. Like, Yeah, so no, people can do what they want. There's not even heroin out there anymore. It's all fentanyl. So those dopers aren't even getting that. Those properties of fentanyl is garbage. It's just a tranquilizer. You don't even feel the regular opiate high. So all them suckers are risking their lives doing that fentanyl garbage. For what? Isn't there real dope heroin on the streets anymore for the people? No, they got OxyContins that you could get from the pharmacy. So I guess the pharmacy is your new drug dealer, ladies and gentlemen. The pharmacy. See that racket? You see how the rackets? You see how the rackets change? Even down to drug dealing. Your drug dealer is the pharmacy. Most strains of stuff in England is high grade. Cheese and haze, you special liquid, takes 12 weeks. Auto flowers, wow. Yeah, now they got a wide variety of all certain flavors and things and everything like that. That's, before it was either, there's just, years ago, it was like, well, there's Mexican, take it or leave it. Then there was Colombian, and that was the new boom, boom, boom. But compared to this high-tech hydroponic stuff, this doesn't compare. Where you just, how high can a person get on marijuana? Real high, I guess, with this new age stuff, but I don't mess around, and that's it. Here's my drug, caffeine, nicotine, and I gotta stop. I gotta slow the hell down. And I said, Jojo, I told myself, do I address myself as Jojo? You're gonna have to stop smoking on these videos. You're gonna have to stop smoking, Jojo. Please forgive me. I slurp my coffee. Please forgive me. And maybe it's not right for me to smoke, but I'm an old man. I don't have many vices, okay? At least it's not dope, okay? It's been 10 years. I'm not going back to that. We're not going to live forever. And maybe I want to extend my years. But you know what? I want to do what I enjoyed during my living years. Because when I'm 75, I'm going to be, if God willing, I mean, I'm going to be broken down any damn ways. So let me enjoy these times. What are you going to do? I don't know. You know, yeah, you want to have longevity and extend your life. And yeah, I do. But once you're past 55, it's like, enjoy what you do. I made it this far. I survived this far. I survived all the landmines. So, well, you should try to stay healthy, and I'll cut down. Every New Year's, that's my New Year's resolution. So that'll be this New Year's resolution. The same resolution I made the last 6 New Year's. I got to... Same resolution. What the hell is wrong with me? Yeah, I'll quit smoking. I'll exercise. And yeah. Well, I'm going to really do it this year. Somehow. And if you, after New Year's, if you see me smoking on a video, throw the flag. Penalty. 15 yards for lying. A cup of JoJo's. 15 yards. You're a freaking liar. But, oh well. I appreciate you guys coming in here and keeping me company. My channel is, there's no gangster stories on here. I just wanted to say about, Sammy the Bull, John A. Like, they're changing their stories back and forth. It's turned into a social media soap opera. Excuse me. And it's just like, everybody's souping it up. Well, that's the way it is. And I can do more than that. I can do a show about different subject matter. I'm gonna rise up. I've started in June, July, August, September, October's a half. In less than 5 months. In less than 5 months, I didn't think I was gonna get 10 subscribers. Hey, Mike John. How you doing, my friend, New York? Bet the Eagles live in second half. Dallas didn't get off the bus. The score was 0-0. I started this video when it was just starting. I was more concerned about the Yankees game, which doesn't look like, I don't know. They were up. They were up 3-2, but well, they're up 4-2, top of the 7th. Gonna be a game 5, maybe. Gonna be a game 5. So Ravens killed me today, up by 10 with, oh wow. Wow. How did that ever happen? Them Jets, man, they're sneaky. What is it? It's the top of the 7th. The Yankees are up. Jose Trevino, well, 2 outs. Yeah. Game 5. Well, it's fun. It's fun. I'm wearing the Bills, a unique tie-dye Bills shirt. And when I overdosed, I was in the halfway. I was in a residential house, and I was coming back into society. Yeah, the interception and the fumble. Yeah, the Bills game looked like a Super Bowl game. And this dude, that was a mystery, man. Like when you get out of I was in the hospital when I overdosed, and I got out, and then I was going into this like supportive living and stuff. And you share a house with 5 guys, and there was this mystery guy. It was like a big house, and there was 5 bedrooms, and you share with these strangers. And this dude was always going in the basement and whatever. And then he was like, "Hey Joe, you a Bills fan?" I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Here." 9 years ago. I said, "Thank you." And he was created like that, but he felt like a serial killer to me. He gave me a bad vibe. I just was like, try to be nice. But I was always out of that house. I'd just go back and sleep and then just be out of there. Oh, Live 2 Team Parlay. I wonder what kind of odds. You got to lay a lot for that. You got to lay for that because they're both. Well, I don't know what the Philly score is. You probably got to. I don't know. Well, after the 7th inning, is it still open? You could still get down. Oh, Dallas. No, I started doing the video when the game started because, I mean, Philadelphia has been rocking and rolling, but Dallas has shown they had a real tough defense. Yeah, you got to lay a lot, even if that's still open. If that is still open, it'll be 1-9. That bet'll be 1-9. Yeah, that bet'll be that bet will be the score being up 4-2, and whether there's anybody on base or not, they take all that into consideration. But you probably got to put up 1,000 to make 100. I'm just guessing, but you got to lay. I don't know if it was the moderator, Angel Gotti. I was checking it out, and I put a comment in there, and it was like, why were they saying like she's the stepdaughter or anything else? And I just said, I was like, why do people? I wasn't saying you're a stepdaughter. It was like Philly 17-0. So I just put that in there, and right after that, I was off the chat. It was like, well, you know, and Mike, that's a soap opera too, because like I said, if that FBS or whoever that was threatening a woman, number one, and then number two, to put all her personal information online, she would have went off on him. Channel or no channel. And this other guy isn't worried about, are there any other Gottis running around that could be dangerous or stick up for the mother or sister or anybody? Like, and it just went smooth. And I was like, they could keep their soap opera. I like MRE, and I like Shades is all right. That's Shades. I like him, but I don't even know who this FBS is or whoever that is. Convict Inc. is he's cool. That Robert Russo, they're knowledgeable encyclopedias. But Angel seems to be getting caught up in the soap opera drama because it gets views. So they're going to have conflict, made up conflict. So you tune in tomorrow to see what happens as the world turns. It's like All My Children. Yep. The Gottis are a joke, and now they're washed up. They're trying to milk everything else you can out of all that, and make an extra dollar. They're riding the waves and the shirt tails of John, and that's understandable. But you know what? Anybody else that was in that situation would be under the radar, living their lives, and just living regular. No, you want to spend 6 hours on a live stream, Angel, and getting into all this soap opera stuff? Really? I don't even think your father would like that. Even though he liked the public attention. And well, you guys just love all the, well, that's what you do. That's what you do. But, maybe she probably thought I was a troller trying to bust her chops because there was other people like that was in there that got cut off, and they were like saying something about she's a stepdaughter. She wasn't the. I was like, I never heard of that, and I was like, why? What were they saying? What the hell was that about? And either she took me off or the moderator took me off. You see those calls they missed in the Bills game today? The NFL is fixed. Did you see the calls they missed? Flagrant calls they missed in the NFL. And they have replay. They want to turn the NFL into the WWF wrestling and just get the marquee matchups to meet at the end so it gets more views, more ads, and more money. Big market teams. Everything's a hustle. Everything's a hustle. And the way I look at it is, hey, Joe, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I decided to do a late night thing. Thanks for your support, Joe Ruffino. Good man, local guy. And we overcame, and we have fun now, and we live our lives, and we try to offer help when there can be. Yeah. We were running bad once. We were running a little bad once a million years ago. He stuck his leg out. He tripped him. And it was like, what? And the ref's like, dum. Honey, I'll be home for supper. Like, what? It's so many bad calls. And the instant replay doesn't mean nothing. The instant replay means absolutely zero. It's ridiculous. It's, but he hung in there, and then he came back, and they won and everything. But they're changing the integrity of the game. I mean, I don't know. I'm an old timer. See, things are changing for just entertainment purposes, and there's no and it diminishes the competitive aspect, or the fight to win, and it's just like, yeah, it's just no. I touted on my show before earlier in the week when I was just giving some we all had one. We all no, I didn't bet nothing. I would have got down, but I didn't remember. I said when I was doing the lines, when I was doing the lines, I said Kansas City's an underdog at home. What planet do I live on? See, Vegas, I mean, anything could happen. Anything could happen, but things that make you go, and some questionable lines here or there are usually the ones that, but I can't play Monday morning quarterback. And, I had friends afterwards that we said, oh, well, how come you didn't cash your parlay, Herb? You had all these winners and you missed, that's gambling. But, I would be ahead this year if I did at the start put a few small parlays. I put a $10 parlay in and try to get odds. Oh, yeah, you took the Bills. Yeah, they're looking tough. They're looking very, very tough. And they could have won by a lot more. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but they could have. Geez, they were inside the 20 3 times and they got a field goal. But yeah, these refs. I mean, years ago they had these crews that they had 25 years as a ref. They were seasoned veteran refs. Now you got all these fly-by-night refs in there. And they really gotta, just like the NBA, just like the NBA when they were handing these memos down for to the referees saying, you know, you better call a game this way or you better call a game this way. And what did one or some other referees do? They let their friends that gambled get down and bet big money on them games. What a luxury to have. My buddy's a crooked ref in the NBA, and we know how he's going to call this game. And now we got 5 guys spreading the action in Las Vegas and getting down and spreading the money out, not to raise any eyebrows, and just cash, 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 cash. The NBA's been rigged. But Michael Jordan and them boys didn't want to know nothing. That game that Kansas City kicker kicked, I mean, that field goal was from 62 yards, the longest field goal in that stadium, 62 yards. It hit the net. It was up in the net. What the heck? It hit the net up there. I was like, that looked like a 75-yarder. When they kicked off, he hit the crossbar. When they kicked off, he hit the crossbar. He almost made a field goal from the 30-yard line. 75 yards, it hit the crossbar. The ensuing kickoff. What the heck? You know, the guy looks like he's 5'4", 130 pounds. He's got a skinny leg. How's he kicking this like that? Yeah, Dallas. Yeah. Man, I wish I was in on the in. I wish I was in on the no. And all these guys, you know, they just bury that money. They don't put it in bank accounts. They just bury it, and they just know how to live. They get a nice car, get a nice piece of property in Aunt Tilly's name, and just have that money and make all the right moves and just keep stashing that money. And then, you know, then you get a loan from a bank, and then you legitimize yourself. You open a storefront, you have DBA, and then you could just launder all that money through. How nice. I wish I was young again. Mike Francis, with all that money, he set up production companies. Yeah, that would have been good from 75 yards. The thing hit up in the damn net. What the heck? There's no telling, but a lot of the gangsters died broke. A lot of them died in jail. A lot of them got killed. Yeah, they got a lot of, man, boy, it'd be nice. I knew years ago, even a small school, but small college basketball school, that I knew some of the people I was running around for, and they got a couple of kids on that team. Vegas put a line out. Vegas puts lines out for small basketball schools. But with technology and stuff today, they could see questionable action on some teams. But back then, they were still sharp back then, but they would monitor. They'd look and see if something raised an eyebrow or not. But they had a couple of guys that, and they had guys in Las Vegas that, you know, and there's 10 books open all over the city. So you can put 3,000 here, 4,000 there, and try to get, you know, 50,000 on that game. Guaranteed. Even like Niagara is a small school, you know, Niagara Falls, New York, Niagara. Well, they got to it. It never got publicized. They never got caught. They never got caught. Yeah, you know, and when you could gamble on that stuff, The old timer told me, well, he said, Jojo, wherever there's big money, there's big corruption. Whenever there's a racket or something you can bet on, you better believe there's corruption. You'll never dodge it. You think the NFL is on the up and up? You think, yeah, it is. No, it's not. No, it ain't, Jojo. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because he knew years ago in the 70s or whatever it was that they were making money. They were making money on all that. And horse racing is the complete epitome of fixed sports, if that's a sport, but a fixed gambling event. And I don't want to, I have people in the horse business. My good buddy is a trainer, and he works hard, and he's a great trainer in the horse business, and he works hard and everything. But even with that being said, there's a lot of hanky panky that goes on, and I don't even bet on horses anymore. And I was a good handicapper years ago on the horses. I was a real good handicapper, but it's all changed. It's all changed. They line up numbers. I don't waste my energy on that anymore. But yeah, and you're a gambler you're trying to see through everything. You're trying to do your homework as a gambler, and it don't mean shit at the end of the day. Flip a coin, boom. That's all. You might have you might have more success. Flip a coin. You take the lines for the next week. Oh, the Bills against them. Well, okay, flip a coin. That's the first piece of my parlay. All right, Tampa against blah, blah, blah. Okay, flip a coin. That's the second part of my parlay. I'm going to do that next week. My flip of a coin parlay. 4-teamer. I'm going to make a 4-teamer, a 3-teamer, and a 2-teamer. And it's all going to be a flip of a coin. And that's it. Because I'm already crazy enough. And I used to be a stats man, a numbers guy. And I was very analytical a long time ago, before there was analytics, and I really tried to turn it into a science. There's no science. You try to get the best of it going in. You try to get the best of it, like my statistics teacher, when I went to business school in the early 80s, in the 70s, he was going to Vegas with the Mask and Disguise, playing blackjack. My great professor I had, he's probably passed away, God bless him. Mr. Strano, God bless him. And we were shooting dice in the classroom or doing cards in the classroom. And they didn't have big decks back then. Some of those casinos had single-hand decks back then. These wise guys, these sharp rain men, they were like the Rain Man. And they knew that at this point in time, you got the best of it going in. And when you're talking about science and gambling and statistics, all we could do as a gambler and researcher and scientist is we want to have the best of it going in, the best odds going in. It might be a small advantage, but we want that advantage. And we want to exploit it the best we can during that time when we have the best of it. So he was sharp, and he would show us the disguises, and we did our regular statistics and probabilities and stuff like that. And he ran a class, but it was a fun class. I was like a kid in the candy store because I was brung up around gambling and booking and all that, and I was gambling when I was 7. But that was fascinating to me. Like, I want to learn how to win. Yeah. They're all the elitists. You're an aristocrat, eh? Yeah. What is your status? Well, I'm just a cup of JoJo. Oh, geez. They inherited millions. They could go to the auction and buy $1 million yearling that's royally bred. And then you see them all at the Saratoga meet. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. The aristocrat, eh? The aristocrat. I want some tea and crumpets. Yeah, that's fascinating. But yeah, gambling and the action and trying to hit our shit and everything else. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But, if you got a couple dollars, take a shot, but don't get too crazy if you can't pay the rent and you can't put food on the table or pay your mortgage or stuff like that. I bet a $10 parlay, a $20 parlay. I don't have money. I got everything I need, and I live. God blesses me, and I live good. I'm lucky I'm alive, so I'm living like a king just for the fact that I'm living. So I'm fine. Yeah, it's tough to take bad beats. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if you had more money, you could only get a car so good. You could only, at the end of the day, yeah, we want luxury. Yeah, we do want luxury, but you can only get so much, and then you're still left with yourself. And you still got to be happy because money doesn't make everybody happy. So you could get all the amenities and all the luxuries, but we're still left with ourselves. So if you could be happy, that's fine. So I appreciate everybody that came in here. Because my battery is running out, and I do not want to get cut off. And everybody that came in here, the new guys, Dizzy Drum, Mike John, my man down there. Thank you, pal. Kevin, overseas. Leon, come in. Joe Ruffino, stay great. All of you stay great. I appreciate you visiting me and keeping an old man company. I appreciate it. And, let all your parlays be winning ones. And we could be happy. Even if we lose our parlays, we could still be happy. And appreciate the things that you do have. We're living today, so we got a shot. So thank you, everybody. Be the kings and queens of your world. Stay great. Hit your parlays, but you can still be happy if you don't hit your parlays. So thank you, subscribers. Thank you, viewers. My clicker keeps going up. Stay safe. Bless you too, Dizzy. I feel that stuff from my heart. I'll tell some other gangster stories somewhere down the road, but I don't want to be a one-trick pony, okay? And I don't want to bash none of them guys because it's easy to do, and I whore myself in the thumbnails. So I appreciate that. You folks, you guys always make my day. Thank you, Leon, my wingman from first subscriber. Thank you. I'll be back chirping. You guys are the best, and I hope you guys have a blessed life, not only with luxury, but, stay confident, stay strong. The world is a vampire. It'll beat the shit out of you, but you come back strong. And that's how we do it here in a Cup of JoJo. So I'll sign off like that. I'll tune in. I usually do my stuff in the morning and talk about whatever the heck I'm going to talk about. So God bless all you good people, my dear friends. You support me. You rise me up. And I'm not exempt from being depressed. I'm not exempt from stress and emotions. I'm human too. And, I try to give therapy, but, sometimes the therapist needs therapy. You already know I'm nuts, but we try to rise up intelligently. We laugh intellectually. We gamble. We take shots. We get pissed off, but we can still be the king no matter what. We're living. So you guys stay safe out there. Don't take any wooden nickels. And I'll be back tomorrow. And thank you, subscribers and supporters and viewers, because I didn't think it would rise up to 20 subscribers. So I appreciate that. And I'll talk to you soon. Good night and God bless you all. Good people. Bye.